this review was shit because this movie's shit. I mean, I'm at the point where I stopped caring for these reviews because they didn't care enough to make the movie when they made the movie.
For shame.
Mm-hmm.
For shame. You're gonna eat a hot dog too.
I know, right?
That's just really respectful.
I'm being more respectful to you, the viewer, than the director was to us when we sat through that POS.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you expect from a found footage horror movie? I know that's like the typical response, but I don't know. Like, that kind of infers the fact that movies have a right to be bad. And
Kind
that's
of like
not
Taco Bell. Just has a right to be bad.
No, like, no film has the right to be bad. No film has the right to be bad. So, I'm not going to lower my standards for every movie I see. I may dread a movie.
Yeah.
I may dread a movie coming up, but I am
You
not...
dread the movie, but
But I'm not going to, like... At best, I will lower expectations. But I will not...
shit, if that worked, I would lower my expectations for every movie I see, and I'd be happy, and I'd just come out of there all smiles.
Sorry, gotta turn off the theme. But...
No problem. Yeah, just chocolate and gumdrop smiles.
I know, but I'm still going to hold movies accountable for their badness. And trust me, this movie needs to be held accountable.
Absolutely.
This
is a shit movie. Let's see that. Putting it on the chart of there's been no good horror movies for the past decade.
Not really.
Has there been one? Just one. I'm sure there's been one.
Some people liked Insidious.
Oh, so the same people who did
Devil. Yeah, the same director for Devil.
This is it's M. Night Shyamalan produced. Or was it what?
Devil. No, right. The only tie that this movie has to M. Night Shyamalan is that the same director directed this and directed Devil.
Oh, okay. He produced Devil. He did not produce this film. Okay, his name's not actually.
Yeah, don't worry.
Not really tied to this.
Sorry if I seem a little. Actually, I thought it would be kind of funny if I had the game on while we record this, but this is just being too distracting.
Yeah, we didn't want to. You can eat a hot dog, but
I mean, I can eat a hot dog, but I can't, But at least I owe the people my attention. It's
not their fault. It's not your fault, right? Yeah. It's not your fault.
It's not your fault that this movie sucks, but it'll be all your fault if this movie is successful.
If you go to see it, that's your fault.
Yes.
After watching this, you have no excuse.
None whatsoever. In fact,
honestly, you should just know that if it's a horror movie, you got about a 99% chance that you're not going to enjoy it.
I think that's a fair assumption to make. I asked him. I asked Gabe on the car ride back if this was the worst horror movie he's ever seen, and he had to think about it.
The first thing that came to mind was Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2. Electric Boogaloo.
You see, I'm smart.
That was bad.
Yeah,
this guy was smart.
I didn't see any of the Silent Hill movies. But
you didn't see the first?
I didn't see the first because I knew, I was smart. I knew that there has yet to have been a good video game movie.
Mortal Kombat.
The first Mortal Kombat is watchable by on the pretense that you're watching Christopher Lambert just try to be, or I mean, Street Fighter the movie is watchable because Raul Julia and because of Raul Julia, that's reason enough to see it. But outside of ironic enjoyment, there really isn't a movie based off a video game that's worth a damn. I think the closest you can get to watchable, but just by purely on merit, maybe Prince of Persia. Maybe
I was able to watch that, and
I mean it was
entertaining.
I mean, it was a movie.
Yeah, it was a movie.
I mean, that's certainly better than.
I was shocked at the twist. Ben Kingsley being a bad guy. That was.
Who saw that coming? Honestly, I mean, wasn't he the bad guy in Gandhi? Wait for it. Wait for it.
What? What am I waiting for, Ben?
I said that he was the bad guy in Gandhi.
What am I waiting for?
Who did Ben Kingsley play in Gandhi?
Gandhi.
Say, wasn't he the bad guy in Gandhi? Never mind.
it's lost on me.
Yeah.
I never saw the movie. I know who Gandhi is. I know who Gandhi is. I know what Gandhi did, and I know that Ben Kingsley portrayed Gandhi and Gandhi. Beyond that, I'm not a part of this inside joke, or am I just the only person? It's an outside joke. And
No, it's just the joke is.
are you saying that Gandhi was a bad person?
That was the joke. Yes.
I thought about that, but I don't know. I mean, I guess there's people who think that he was. I'm not one of those people. It's kind of like there's people who say that the Nazi thing that never happened. And
the Indian Muslims sure did.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that is so far beyond the point of this movie right now. But all right. Let me ask you something. What do you think? Like, I'm putting this question out there to everyone in the audience and to you and everyone in the universe. What do you think makes a movie scary? Like, what do you think makes a movie scary?
Not this. Not what they did in this, and that's shaky camera.
Of course, it's a found footage. Like we said, it was a found footage.
Strobe lights and shaky camera is not scary.
But here's the thing.
Changing up the timer on how long until the person freaks out and starts spasming is not scary. Sometimes it can get you to jolt a little bit just because of your reflexes. Yeah. But that's just not scary. That's just
startling.
Poking me with a stick.
Like that.
Yeah. And if you can't even succeed at the first, it takes like 100. Before they finally get one in on me. I'm like, my shoulder. You got my shoulder.
Oh, you got me twitching.
Shut up. Don't give it to them.
Well, we were discussing this on the car ride back, that this movie is so bad that if they hadn't done this annoying found footage movie shtick of shaky cam and, like, you can't quite see what things are, it would be the most boring movie ever made.
I was saying that this is basically like Stalker.
No.
Which is something you don't know what I'm talking about. But there is a movie called Stalker.
And I think it may be the single worst film I have ever seen, purely on the basis that I would never ever want to see it again.
Yes. I had a friend who loved the movie, and
we
both had a friend who loved the movie.
And we sat down to watch this 2.5 hour long movie that
you couldn't finish it. I had to finish it.
I finished it.
Did?
It was a marathon.
You never finished the movie? Did you do it alone?
No, I didn't do it alone. I did it with you guys. I watched it with you, and
I remember you had to give up at the point after the 5 minutes of staring at the back of these bald guys' heads on a little mine cart for 5 minutes, just staring into the distance. We were just watching the back of their heads, and he's just like, do something! And a friend is just like, But kind of the same way I felt about when we watch Cat People, and I'm just like, I feel bad because I know what that's like.
Or Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Brotherhood of the Wolf is an awesome movie. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe not as good now as what I saw when I was younger, but I still enjoy it. Let's not derail too much here. Now that we're talking about me.
But the idea, the connection between As Above, So Below. I can't believe we've gotten this far into this fucking vlog without actually mentioning the title.
Apparently that's if you know anything about magic, that alchemy. As Above, So Below is a magic term. It's the key to magic, apparently, and
here it's used as it's used sort of as like a turn phrase, sort of like like Rosebud.
And you can see more in this movie about how much the director fucking loves to do inverse on his scenes. He loves the idea of upside down and everything. He must have watched the step part of the Labyrinth a million times. Because the guy loves that kind of thing. In Devil, it starts off, everything's upside down, right? And I believe at the end, everything's back to right side up.
I didn't think to make that connection, but this all ties back to scene geometry. This director often works with tight, compressed spaces, much like Stalker, which was why we brought it up. And just like Stalker, if you remove the gimmicks, that if you tried to film this movie as a movie with all these people wandering around what is ostensibly the exact same 4 or 5 stone hallways, cramped, tight spaces, it would be
four best.
It would be the most boring movie excuse me, the most boring movie ever.
Yeah.
There's literally there's two settings rather. There's France, and then maybe 5% of the movie set in Iran. So
Iran.
yeah, well, they say it's Iran.
France. Iran.
No, I do think they filmed in France. I know for sure they did not film in Iran.
Yeah.
Yeah. And who knew? They
sure didn't.
like on the premise of the movie is that this really bitchy English woman. I'm sorry, like she acted like a complete bitch.
Yeah.
This really bitchy English woman is trying to find the Philosopher's Stone.
At the expense of who gives a shit.
Pretty much, like she coerces people into finding the stone, and she's like,
There'll be treasure. She didn't know there was actually going to be treasure. She didn't know there was going to be treasure. There was treasure.
she
by
was,
the
you
way,
know, she lies to people to get them to help her.
There's treasure there, and it's like, told you so.
But
Actually, they didn't even really acknowledge the treasure that much.
on the journey through the Parisian catacombs, she comes across the Philosopher's Stone, but winds up going through hell. And
She had to go through hell to get it.
who'd have thunk? Who'd have thunk that the gates to hell were in Paris? Who'd have thunk, huh? Like, the closest I've ever been to France it was England, and even then, I felt the heat from the flames. I mean, it was just, how do you Parisians live there? Honestly, that's. I mean, just going through Paris just seemed like hell on earth to me. Now you actually have hell in earth on Paris.
Hey, as above, so below.
That's definitely true for Paris.
So,
But like, the premise is that all the footage that we're seeing is from like direct live feed, except for these sporadic cuts.
it would have been kind of funny if they put that on the, on the card, on the title cards. They put it on the top and the bottom. I don't know.
No,
Being creative.
no, it's but we're seeing the live feeds from
It was at the bottom of the title cards.
the documentary. There's a black documentarian, the black guy. Guess how long he lives? But actually, his death is one of the funniest things I've
It's
seen.
the funniest part of the movie. That's
It's definitely the funniest thing in the movie, but I dare say it's one of the funniest moments we've had in the theater this year.
Really?
Well, just for the moment, because it was definitely one of those.
It was definitely one of the funniest moments, or brief moments.
And we'll get to that.
It was one.
We'll get to that in good time.
But yeah, so basically, this movie makes itself better by being shitty, by being shittier.
Yeah,
That's an achievement.
it's
they,
a
they
dark.
employ a really shitty technique that I hate, and I know that if they didn't do that, it would be freaking Stalker. It may be worse because they have less area.
No. It's about an hour shorter than Stalker.
That's true.
So that immediately makes it better.
They would have walked through a hallway, and then they'd be done. This is just a bunch of actors in a box.
It's
Much like Devil,
much
like Devil,
much
just a
like-
bunch of actors in a box. Except, that was the point of the movie in Devil. This was just cheap.
And again, like Devil, they tried to bring up the idea that like some of the people that are trapped in hell have some ideas, like some things to atone for, just like Devil.
Yeah, there was character background. There was actual.
But there would
depth
if
to-
you can believe it, there is less character background and involvement in this movie than there is in Devil.
Yeah.
If you can believe it.
Somebody will see something from his past, and that will trigger him to bring up his past, rather than the other way around. It's not like you're hearing these people, give away little bits of themselves in Double. It's not an unwrapping. It's just, oh look, it's a piano. I had a piano. Looked just like that piano.
It had a
It had a broken key right over there. Let me do something. Do. Bonk, bonk. Oh God. It's my piano. Let's keep going though. Let's just keep going.
Like, I knew this movie was going to be unforgivably bad when check out this bit dialogue bomb right here. The male lead does not want to go into the catacombs for good reason.
Yeah.
Because I would not go there. I mean, anyone with half a brain wouldn't go, but he's kind of led.
Yeah.
all right, this leads to another. All right, first this part, then this one. Come on, so much shit to get through, but but he's making very vocal. He doesn't want to go into the catacombs, and then somebody asks her like, "Why doesn't he want to go in?" And the lead actress just says, I think the character's name is Scarlett.
Yeah,
Scarlett.
Scarlett,
Yes,
yeah.
Scarlett just says because his brother drowned in a cave. How? Like how do you drown in a
Yeah.
cave in the 1980s? It's like even in the 18th century, that would have been a weird way to go. I mean, look, you live near a cave, and you live near a cave, and one of your brother drowned. Your brother drowned in a cave. In a fucking cave.
You might as well say, oh, he's afraid of bones. He's afraid of bones because, his parents abandoned him at Marine World at the dinosaur pit.
And all I could remember was the bones.
All I can remember is all those femur bones. So there, by the way, like 99%, I always go to 99, let's try 90, 97% of the bones are femur bones.
Like they're
Like literally the whole floor is covered in femur bones.
Like they're in the catacombs, you might see some skulls, but like every time you see like supposedly human remains of skeleton, they're just the femur bones. They're like none of
That's
the
how
arms.
cheap this movie was. They didn't even
They
mix
didn't
up
even.
the bone.
It's like hell just lops off your legs and just lops your leg off from like the hip down to the knee, and then just pulls throws your thighs into a huge pit and they rot. And that's what they had to crawl through in order to get to hell.
Hell does not need your femur bones. They need everything else. Yeah, it's
So
bad.
So,
So
let me ask you, like, how do you get the guy who does not want to go inside the spooky caverns? How do you get him to go inside? By having a random policeman.
yeah,
tackle
one guy, by the way.
One policeman.
One policeman just bull rushes the whole group and takes down one guy. He's just no.
No, he doesn't even say no. He just
No, I know. He doesn't even talk.
You know what he does? He
Would have been
fucking
better that way.
Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah.
He just tackles one of them.
He tackles one. He doesn't call for backup or anything.
Like he doesn't say
just-
freeze.
It was really weird.
He doesn't say like freeze. He doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't even have a billy club or anything. I think he just goes in there and tackles the guy, and they are freaked the fuck out. So freaked out, they just run. They just dive into the hole, and they have these smoke bomb canisters or whatever.
I thought they were dynamite. I thought they were like sticks of dynamite because there was explosions. There were explosions.
I'm pretty sure I remember them saying throw the smoke bomb, or something. They
Well-
said something to the line of smoke bomb.
Well, if they did, like smoke bombs are like canisters that throw out a lot of smoke. They do not explode.
Yeah, well these ones do.
So like
So they have these explosive smoke bombs.
explosive smoke,
Yeah,
not flash.
explosions make smoke too. So
Well, not flashbangs.
no, I'm pretty sure they said smoke bombs, but it's not important. They throw these things. Either way, it's stupid. Either way, it's stupid. They throw them out of the hole to. They throw like 3 or 4 of them. Just one guy. Just one guy. They all could have just like stopped shaking their cameras so we could see what's going on and just be like, oh, there's a guy right there. Well, let's grab him and punch him in the head, or maybe talk to him. Maybe say I'm sorry, and then we'll be on our way.
Another all right.
Do.
One of the major things that bothers me about the found footage subgenre is the fact that like why would you keep carrying the
Yeah.
camera? At a certain point, just fuck the camera. And
There's even a point in the beginning where they're in Iran where she's chiseling away at a wall before they're all about to blow up because they're dropping stuff, and she's like, I can't think with this camera on my head, and she just tears it off. And I'm thinking if she couldn't think when it was on her head there, I don't know how the fuck she got through hell with it on.
other than the fact that if she did, then there'd be no movie. And you got to think that this may be the most advanced cameras you have ever seen, because these are they attach like little GoPros to like next to their like lights on their helmets. Well, not really helmets. They don't have helmets.
It's a strap light.
Like a little headlight, and they have little cameras here, and the footage that you get from that is amazing. But here's the thing: like they got the camera here. Where are they getting all the sound from?
Yeah.
Because they don't have like little microphones attached.
It's not on their lapel. It's not on their. Yeah.
So like, where are they getting this fucking sound from? And you'd be surprised.
that would explain why this. Yeah, I don't know. The sound was.
The sound was weird because in the context of this movie, there is no such thing as non-diegetic sound, for the most part. There's non-diegetic sound where like every sound you hear is sound that the characters hear, but out of nowhere, like during like the initial like breach into hell, you hear a choir like doing those speaking oh, and you're thinking, wait a minute, what the fuck? And then the characters start hearing it too. You're thinking, okay, now that's even weirder. They pass by like a hellish choir.
Yeah.
They pass by a hellish choir, and like their tour guide, as it were, hears that and is like, "Oh, there's some weirdos down here."
There's a lot of scenes where some creepy character, whether they're actual, it doesn't matter where they are. They could be something imagined. They could be a real person. They could just be some guy at the club. This is they used this scare tactic to the maximum, where somebody's just staring off into the distance, and then they go.
Or like the camera will pan across, and you see someone looking directly at the camera, and then you don't see him anymore. Like I figured, I initially thought that like all the characters that did that held some kind of personal significance to the camera guy, the black camera guy, but no.
No, there was just
if they did, we weren't let know. We weren't told.
No.
And I was really disappointed because I thought like at least the trailer kind of showed that some people had like they were going to get their historical karma by going through hell.
Yeah.
And I thought that well, at least
the interesting part of the movie didn't happen. Not really.
Not really.
Not so much as oh no, it was my parents died in a car accident or something. What was the?
Well, like the tour guide was apparently someone important to him. We don't know. Died in a car fire.
Yeah, we don't even know. Someone in his life died in a car fire. So they turn around a corner in the catacombs, and there's a room with a car
that's on fire.
With a person in it. And well, boy, this was actually hilarious.
He gets sucked into the car.
Then suddenly he's like, "Whoa!" It's kind of Jim Carrey's across the floor, being pulled by an invisible force, holding his groin. And he just kind of gets growing pulled all the way to the car. There's oh, and they have to go grab him. No, and then it just kind of gets vacuumed into the car. The whole car is like collapses in on itself and sucks into the ground, and what's left is his feet just sticking out of the ground. Going ah. Oh God! Get him up!
He's like trying to pull him up, but
start tickling his feet. Hey!
But two of the weirdest things that like in this movie happened almost back to back.
Yeah.
While during the first collapse, during the first descent, they meet a guy who got lost, like one of their friends who got lost in those tunnels, and who. We don't know how long he's been lost, but like apparently he's been subsisting off of like cockroaches like Renfield has.
Bone marrow?
I don't know, but like he's been subsisting in this dark space for who knows how long, and he's just kind of he's like Renfield. He's like,
yeah.
You want to
just follow me?
Just follow me, and.
These guys are...
Then he shows up later in hell who murders, like, the other woman in the group, and then he fucks off and he's gone for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, and there's little to no speculation of, wow, this is happening around us. What do you think's going on? No, it's more, oh God, we have to keep going.
But the best part of the movie is how the black guy eats it.
Oh God, yes.
So he's descending on a rope, and in this weird angle, like in the background, you see that same woman who's been giving him the evil eye on the camera, just kind of big wheel in the background, kind of doing like one of these. Actually, I got to do it like this.
There you
go. Like she's doing one of these, like in the background. I just wanted that black guy to just turn his head.
I just got a lap dance there.
Just turn his head back there. I was like, I see you creeping.
No, he keeps doing this. He's like. It's like kind of like well, I'm not going to give away the Guardians thing, but if you know what I'm talking about, end of the Guardians, it's the same thing. Where Drax, you know, he's like,
That same kind of look too. It's like you're trying to clap a motherfucker for the paper. I ain't going back. You gotta admit, that's a very, very accurate representation of African Americans I just did. Very accurate. I'm one of you black people. Holla. I am keeping it in the review, all right? I am willing to...
yeah, you've kept a lot of my mishaps. You better fucking keep some of yours.
But it's the funniest fucking thing in the movie. You see, it looks like she's, doing a big wheel. She's pedaling a big wheel right
I was just expecting her, because he keeps looking by, and Captain Spence was waiting for her to do a moonwalk back. And slide. Shorty.
Shorty? What was that? Ashley! Is that you?
See, now we're both in it.
But of course, she, offs him and he falls to his death. And I think that was...
Oh, and then there's a character called Suxi.
Suxi, yeah, that was...
The Banshee.
I didn't pick up on that. That's...
No. They literally addressed her at the beginning as Suxi. He pauses and he says, the Banshee.
Well, she didn't really have much of a presence in the movie. She exists solely to get killed by
She exists
by
solely
Renfield.
to get killed by Renfield, have her skull smashed open. The Philosopher's Stone.
Well, this was what confused me.
Yeah.
They find the Philosopher's Stone, which triggers a collapse, and they go into hell. But before that, they use the Philosopher's Stone to heal a wound, because we could give immortal life. But then somebody else gets injured, and the stone doesn't work because it's not the real one. So Scarlet has to literally run back into the Philosopher's Stone room, which was about 25 minutes ago. She just kind of blitzes past us. She speed runs through basically the second act of the movie.
She says, they're all the way down there, and keeping in mind that they don't know how the fuck they got to where they are.
No.
Because they keep going in turns and find themselves in a place that they didn't, either were at before or didn't think was, in existence. Like, shit, they came around a corner and there was a car on fire. They don't know what the fuck they are. And, we know where they are. They're in a hallway that they've been in for the past, the whole shooting of the movie. But in the movie, they don't know where they are. She says she's going to go all the way back to, as you say, Act 2 and get a plot and change the plot device.
But the problem with that is, not only is that, how does she know where to go? It's not like it was, Labyrinth, where she put, a rope.
No!
And on top of that, she has to climb, 200 meters on a rope to get back up to
That's
where
right. They fell, 200 meters when they did that. When they had to jump all the way down there and take a leap of faith.
So she puts the Philosopher's Stone back into the wall. Then she has to go back to where she left those two guys.
Seriously, she could have just gone back to her apartment at some point and be like, "Hey, you guys want a pack of smokes?
It's on my way back.
Rockstar. I'm on the way. If I'm going all that way, I'll take a pit stop, and
and she drops the camera. She finally drops the camera, on her way to put back the Philosopher's Stone, and then she comes right back to pick it up again so she could bash some demon, I guess. It's just a demon.
Oh yeah,
in the face.
This time around, the demons were easier. It's kind of like that Star Trek episode where they're encounter all the Wonderland villains or whatever they have to fight off. There's the I'm drawing a blank. Here's the knight and everything, and then when I promise I'm going somewhere with this.
Okay.
On their way back, they just kind of push the villains aside, right? Because they're in a hurry now. So that was very much the same thing.
Is this OG Star Trek? Or is this next gen?
I'm talking about OG.
Oh. Yeah, you could tell me that Captain Kirk murdered Spock with his erection and I would believe you because I never watched the OG Star Trek.
I'm going with the references again.
Next gen for life. To beam up. Anyway. But
those cameras are water and blood resistant.
Oh yeah, the shit that camera went through, That must be like that camera was forged from a black metal that fell from space.
Yeah.
That was it was used to beat a demon. It was used to smite a demon.
Yes.
You don't understand. This is a holy relic.
Yeah, fuck the Philosopher's Stone.
That fucking camera. And here's the most weirdest part of the movie. She goes back to the main lead, who she left to return the Philosopher's Stone, kisses him, and heals his wound. Like, so is she the Philosopher's?
Yeah, she don't have no stone no more.
So she like what? She lays
Did
on
she
hands.
eat it?
No,
No, she put it up back in that thing. I know, but
But did she like lay on hands and healed him? Like now she is the.
she is the Philosopher's Stone.
I guess. I guess that's the. I have no idea. Like I honestly have no idea what the fuck went on in that last that
Yeah.
last act.
I don't.
None whatsoever.
I'm not sure a lot of people who are involved in this movie really knew.
And turns out like they escaped through hell through a manhole cover. You know, through the Parisian sewer. It's just another
Yeah.
checklist on the
Because as
areas of hell.
as above,
So below.
So below.
And so she survives, the male lead survives, that had the brother that drowned in the caves. And then, for no reason whatsoever, another Frenchman survives. Like,
Yeah.
he had no...
He was one of the weakest characters,
like,
actually.
all the characters were weak.
Well, yeah, but yes, he was on the weaker side of the.
Like, he literally had no character background.
Yeah.
Literally nothing. I mean, like, Suxi had no character background either, but she had the good sense to die. So, like, when she died, like, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
nothing to repent for. But he survives, and he has even less of an identity
He
than
looks-
she did.
and
Like, all he did was have a bad Robert De Niro impression.
That's right. That's right. So he really needed to die.
He needed to
'Cause-
die, but she didn't happen.
Yeah, he looked. I think he was just as confused as
Like,
anybody was when he made it out there alive. He gets out of the sewer and it's like he's waiting for something to fall on him or something, right? You tell.
You know, like the only way that you could surprise me more with that ending is that the black guy survived.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, holy hell, I survived. Because apparently he's a 1930s minstrel show. Al Jolson here. All I'm saying is, if God didn't want me to be racist, he would not have given me the ability to make racist black voices.
Yeah. Well, I understand that you had a little breakup recently with that book.
Yeah. I am just beside myself right now.
Yes.
The beginning of the movie was the worst beginning of a movie so far this year.
Mm.
It was cringing. Like there was so many moments where you just like, get on with it, fucking stop. You were just doing one of these. It's just like, just shut the fuck up. But then towards the end, when people started dying, at least some of your frustration is vented, and at least it became funnier, certainly. And I kind of lightened up in the movie towards the end, but I still believe that this is a god awful piece of shit. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no way to I don't think there really is anything to merit about the movie. What do you think? Can you think of anything that does?
Yeah, there were a few humorous.
Well, then
humorous points despite itself. That's it.
The humorous,
That's it.
but that's
Not
not, to the
enough, though.
but that's not to the movie's credit. That's to the movie's discredit.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's worse to sit through. It just means that
I'm glad they didn't waste a lot of money on this film. Actually, you know what? I don't know how much they wasted on this film.
you can't really merit a movie for not doing something.
I don't know.
It's like when you really
I don't know. Maybe.
Like maybe the sound editing was okay because
The one costume designer, what am I saying, didn't have...
the one
work.
costume that the costume designer made.
Yeah, there was one costume designer in the credits for, I guess, the one costume.
For the one costume in the movie. And she certainly did a good job with the one costume. But God,
It was, it was interchangeable. It was... Oh, man, this was a bad movie. This was a bad movie. I'm trying to... there's been a lot of bad horror movies. I haven't watched them. I don't need
Alright,
to
alright,
watch them
okay.
to know that they're bad.
All right,
I saw Silent Hill 2, and that is
the last. Was that the last horror movie you saw?
it's the last horror movie. I'm pretty sure that. Yeah.
Like, I'm not a huge horror hound. Like I can't tell you.
Neither
like,
am I.
I can't.
The horror movies that I like are usually more cult than horror.
Yeah, like the first Evil Dead, you could call a horror movie, and that's a good movie.
Yeah.
But it's not really like a scary movie. It's like a gorehound movie.
Yeah.
And but if you ask me point blankly, what is a good horror movie to see, like Jacob's Ladder, I really earnestly love, because it is a true horror movie. There's like jump scares, but then there's actual like real moments of real terror, and there's no cheap camera tricks. There's just disturbing imagery, like when you saw it, right?
Yeah, I saw
Like-
it with you. I didn't appreciate it at the time. I'd have to see it again to really know if it's a good movie. Because
But, like,
I don't trust 18-year-old Gabe's judgment.
But like
So-
that scene where Tim Robbins is being led to the
Yeah.
grimy hospital, and like the camera keeps focusing on a wheel that
I
just
know it was better than
like
lot of-
like I would punch you if you're thinking like, I don't know, is this better or not than As Above So Below.
oh
I would that would be
no question it's better than this. Cat People to you would be better than this.
yeah, because things happened in Cat People,
Yeah, so that's
and you know the lead actress in Cat People, she gets full frontal, and that's always a plus in my book.
Natasha Skinsky is really
Yeah, that's the sage thumbs up seal of approval.
yeah.
Watch that. That's going to be the title card for the movie.
Thumbs two thumbs up.
The
Two thumbs up for As Above So Below.
Actually, that's the title
Here,
card.
put it back up. Put it back.
Like, there's As Above So Below. I'll just like split the
Split the thing. Yeah, As
split-
Above So Below. Be creative. Yeah.
Yeah, we're being artsy.
We're artists. We're supposed to be artists. Okay. So I'm comparing it to Silent Hill 2. That's how bad this was. Silent Hill 2. I saw Silent Hill 1. You know, it wasn't good, but it was decent, I guess. It had some good soundtrack in it.
But it also fucking ruined Pyramid Head.
Yeah. Silent Hill 1 was all right. That was Silent Hill 2 really ruined Pyramid Head.
Hey guys, you know who would make a great person to run the carousel? Pyramid Head. Boop 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 boop.
No,
boop,
really.
Boop 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 boop.
Not really. Really. Pyramid Head, if you haven't seen Silent Hill 2, don't. Pyramid Head works the carousel for a solid 5 minutes or so.
You know, like, you think anybody who is, like, not even the people behind the Silent Hill the games know what to do with Pyramid Head anymore, because the character of Pyramid Head is just a physical manifestation of the main character from Silent Hill 2's repressed sexual urges.
So it doesn't make a lot of sense.
That Pyramid Head would be in a movie where that character, or game,
May not even exist.
Exactly. So this Pyramid Head just kind of exists out. According to the Silent Hill canon now, Pyramid Head exists outside of James's head, or outside of James's
Due
reality.
to popularity.
Due to
character.
you. I blame you, Silent Hill fans,
Yeah.
who wanted more Pyramid Head. You ruined Pyramid Head. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Well, I even though I like horror games, I can take or leave the Silent Hill series, because I could never ever get beyond how clumsy the combat system is in the early Silent Hill games. Silent Hills 1 and 2 especially. It just felt like, if you want textbook definition of how bad controls can make a game feel scarier,
Yeah.
that's it. Because you are just it
God!
it's like, turn, you son of a bitch, turn.
Strafe! Beef jerky! Yeah.
To me, that's not scary, and it feels like it feels like a handicap, which is why I love The Suffering so much, because you didn't wrestle with the controls. That game controlled beautifully.
Oh, Suffering is wonderful. Oh.
That game was scary as shit. It was atmospheric, and best of all, you could fight. And
You can play a badass and it still be a scary game.
that's why that game is still the best horror game I've ever played, because it didn't rely on like that tried and true tactic of making you feel weak and making you feel like you have to run away from everything, but still feel scary as fuck. It's it was one of those pee your shit kind of games. You got to pee
Yeah.
your shit. But going back on track, is this the worst horror movie I've ever seen?
Expectations were very low. I got what I think it was even worse than I thought it would be though. Because I thought they'd at least do the karma thing with the
Yeah, like,
facing your demons.
that would have been. I think we were both let down in that regard. So not only
it did end up worse than I even thought it would be, which is bad.
well,
However, Silent Hill 2 was just that was just offensive.
so all right, let me simplify it. Which would you rather sit through again?
Fuck. Oh god. Okay, Silent Hill 2
Because
at least had a budget and they had this really sexy monster flesh creature thing in it. Shit, this is worse. Just
Wow.
because of how fucking lazy it is.
and how unimaginative it is, and how
Cheap, low budget, lazy, inconsistent, just garbage.
I will do you one better. This is not only the worst horror movie I've ever seen, whatever that means. Take that as what you will. This is probably one of the worst theater going experiences I've had. It probably is when I look back on it.
Really, why so?
It is one painful because of all the loud thrashing noises that they have to.
I agree with you there. That was
That was
yeah. That
it
was painful.
that it was painful, and then like through the first half of the movie I just felt like there was this headache that's spreading through my ears out to my head, and it's one of the very few movies I've ever seen that actually made it hurt to watch. So I looking back on it, I would not want to go through that again. Like,
This was really a movie, a theater version of a bad haunted house where, like the obnoxious kind of haunted house where they really get in your face to scare you.
yeah,
Like you're going by and some asshole just is like, "Ah!" right in your ear, you know.
like,
That's what it was like. It was horrible. It was just, it was really, yeah, it was offensive.
it certainly was.
Yeah.
I mean, like from a story perspective, the movie was no worse than some of the other schlock that we've seen here. But purely on a technical basis, I can't abide by the found footage movie aesthetic, and I can't abide by the just how assaulting the movie is. Not insulting, but assaulting. Like it just assaults you.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this movie could be considered assault.
In more than one way. And
This is like legally this is assault.
like based on that, I would say this movie is one of the worst theater going experiences.
Yeah.
As a movie, like watching it in your home, I would think it would be much better. But much
Because you
better.
could turn the fucking volume down.
Yeah. But as again, I can't let this movie go without saying that this is probably one of the worst theater going experiences. And
Yeah.
and as such, it's probably going to go at the year end retrospective. It's probably going to be on the top 10 worst.
Visually, it was bad because of the shaking, but I mean, whereas the Hulk was visually just really stressful on the eyes. This was
Stressful.
this was very stressful on the ears with the very high pitched screeching and the vacuuming kind of sounds. It was really hard to sit through. So yeah, I agree with you there.
And I guess when you at the end of the day, that's just all you really need to know. That was just
Yeah.
God. That was like a torture session of a movie. Till next time.